Hi, guys. All right. Awesome. Listen, today Jeannie was looking at the sky and she even took some photos, and I could even see it in the photos. And she was seeing, how do I explain this? Um, Vibrations in the sky is what she was doing, which is awesome. Of course, I can see them. Eventually, you can see that kind of multi-layer vibrational movement in everything, but it was very noticeable in the sky. And like I said, she even took a photo, and I could see where it was in the photo. Now, if you didn't know what you were seeing, whether you could see it in a still shot or not, I'm not sure. But the point is that it is noticeable in a still shot in a photograph, which means definitely higher vibration, next step up. Now, when that happens, especially as fast as I move, then what will happen is um, if you're not in that range, that range that if you don't match the range, then there will be um, a clash there. There will be negativity. That's how people come in and out of each other's lives as they go up and down the frequency level. Because if you're not within range, then there will be a clash, and it will not feel good to the people that are not similar. So that there will be anger and fights, and people talk about growing apart from each other. And ironically, that really is true, because you are growing apart, as in one person's frequency range will go up and the other will go down, and they'll be too far apart. And then right as they're still talking to each other, there will be both are uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable because they're barely within range of each other. And as you get further and further apart, then of course eventually after the when you're almost too far apart, there's animosity there. It just doesn't feel good to either side. It doesn't matter whether one person is higher, the other one's lower, because really there's no such thing as higher or lower. You simply are without, just almost outside of realm of each other. And when that starts to happen, there will be animosity, which is the reason why I say you need to stay on top of whether or not you're being happier or happier. Because what will happen is you will get into a relationship with somebody, you'll have a relationship with somebody. And let's say that you're working the happier and happier, that you're being really on top of things. You're working on being a little bit happier today than you were yesterday. And let's say you interact with somebody who is jumping back and forth in timelines, but staying relatively the same vibration. But you're raising yours. As you interact with them, if you continue to raise and they continue to stay basically where they've always been, there will start to be animosity because you'll barely be within range. And there will be discomfort there. There's discomfort because you're not within a comfortable range. So the reason why I say you really need to consider either consciously making a decision to go to a timeline where that aspect that you're talking to, that other person, is vibrating higher, or you need to stop interacting with that person, because one of two things have to happen in order to ease that discomfort. The only way that discomfort is eased is if you match more vibration wise. Well, normally if somebody's in a bad mood, they usually are not very hip at becoming happier. Misery loves company. They want everybody else to be as miserable as they are. So they will try to be as miserable as they can. And usually what happens is the person that's happier, who is around the miserable person, will become more miserable. And that way there's more comfort in that they're in the same range. So what I would encourage you guys to do is not to fall for that. That's what humans have been doing forever. But in order to be happier and happier and to get out of this hamster wheel of round and round and round, you have to stop doing what you've always done. And that means that if you're in a situation where it's uncomfortable, instead of lowering your vibration to make it comfortable for the two of you, I want you to either remove yourself, go to a timeline where that person's in a happier mood, or go to another circumstance altogether so you can continue to raise your vibration. Don't get caught up in that game of lowering your vibration so that both of you are comfortable And in order to do that, you have to lower your vibration and not be as happy as you were before. Because that's what humans usually do. Okay? What I want you to do is be protective of that happiness. Be protective of you creating a happier timeline, being with a happier collective to the point that you're not willing to lower your vibration for anybody and under any circumstance. That doesn't mean that you interfere with their sadness. If they want to be unhappy, they have every right in the world to be unhappy. It's your job to see that and to not judge. You don't need to judge them for being unhappy, but you don't need to join them either. Okay? And that's where the trick becomes. You don't need to join them. So you just see that they're unhappy, recognize that that vibration is far away from where you are and where you want to be tomorrow. So realizing this, now you need to remove yourself, visualize that person being happier, and make it quite clear that you do not wish to be around this person unless their vibration is happier. And then what will happen is you won't be. As long as you keep your vibration high and refuse to lower your vibration to meet them, then you will stay happy, and the only time you will interact with them is when they are in a happier mood. Okay? That's how it's done. All right? So remember that because we're seeing these things in the sky, that what that means is that means we're on the next level of vibration, starting to see these deeper layers, those vibrations, instead of just what the human eye is used to seeing. We're seeing even more on these higher vibrations. And we're going to train our eyes to see these new vibrations, accept them, and look beyond them, because there's even more. There's more and more and more. So if you're seeing this kind of activity, if you're seeing the sky look like it is many different colors of silver or gold or white or even clear, but there's different colors of those, that there's a movement, almost a wave-like movement that you can see layer upon layer, and there's an undulation, a movement where it should be just space and nothing there. Well, now you're seeing that there is something there. You can also see that with everything else too: walls, plants, trees, animals, each other. And that's what you're going to start looking for. Now, this will feel very weird at first, and certainly when you start seeing it on the ground and with the walls of your house, it can be rather disconcerting. But just keep talking to yourself through it, and eventually it will be as normal can be. And then you'll look for the next layer. And with these new layers that are being seen here, then there are new beings that vibrate in that range. So now you see that there are options for your human eyes to begin to see these new beings. Frequently, you're going to see them kind of energetically or as in vague forms at first. But if you keep looking at these things and validifying these things and saying, yes, I know these other layers exist, and I do want to explore them, I do want to meet the beings that are there, then that will cause you to see more and more and more and more. It's like practice, practice, practice. If they make you uncomfortable, if they make you scared, if they make you worry, then what will happen is you will go back to the timelines where you can't see them anymore. And that's how it works. But if you're seeing these things and they start to occur, don't be surprised if there are people in your life that maybe you've been getting along with really well, and now all of a sudden they seem to be bitchy, or you seem to be bitchy around them. It's because you've raised in your vibrations, and now they're circling the same ones. Same ones they're not raising. They're not being happier and happier. You are. So you may have to make a conscious effort to go to a new timeline where they have raised their vibration, or you need to state the fact that you don't want to be around them unless they are vibrating higher. Otherwise, they're going to bring you back lower, and you won't be able to see those things. All right? Does that make sense? Alrighty then. I think today I'm going to do a website video on time. I think we're going to do some in-depth talking about time. And I think I'm going to do a live feed on time so I can get to talking to you guys back and forth. Let's see if maybe in interacting back and forth we can get help you figure out time. Because if we're starting to see those vibrations, yeah, time is going to start being very important, that you start getting a handle on the game that is time and how you can manipulate time, speed it up, slow it down, move around within, because it is an illusion as well. Yeah, that's a part of that time space thing. So we need to start talking about, now that those vibrations people are seeing, we need to start talking about the illusion of time space and how we can get our mind around that. Okay? Alrighty then. That's it for this one. Huge hugs, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.